You are now watching a Titan Ed video review. If you are not a collector or a parent interested in getting a toy for your child, please click away. So yeah, that intro's staying until Kappa either gets fixed or I find out they're never going to notice me because of my subscriber count being so insignificantly low. Anyway, I figured today we'll actually review something I've got brand new that's somewhat recent for once. I know. Shocker. So today we have Transformers Siege Apeface. I am super happy to get this figure, despite all the stupid stuff that's about to happen to YouTube in 2020, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the figure in front of us. This collector's figure meant for adult collectors. Context matters. Yeah, I'm not letting that go, though. But yeah, this is an awesome figure. Now, I actually did own the G1 Apeface for a couple years, but then I ended up selling it. I actually now regret it having this figure in front of me, which is really good. The vehicle mode is not half bad, although the one downside is that because of the way it's designed, because the original G1 Apeface was a Horicon, and one of the gimmicks is that the headmasters were sort of what you'd call a double headmaster. They'd both be the heads for the beast modes and the robot modes. Well, Hasbro couldn't find an easy way to do that, so part of the beast mode, the gorilla, where he gets the name Apeface from, is shoved into the cockpit. Sorry about that. Because of it, this isn't actually the cockpit. The cockpit is actually back here, beneath the wings, or beneath the tail section. Or adjusters, or I'm not sure what you'd call that. They're not wings. I guess they're supposed to be the tail fins, but it's an 80s sci-fi ship. I'm not even sure how it would technically fly. It's such a giant brick, it probably couldn't even take off, but yeah. Overall, this isn't half bad. I will, however, agree with P.all about this figure. When it's all pegged together, it's solid. When you're trying to take it between modes, particularly Jet and Gorilla mode, it is a fiddly mess. Oy vey. Also, another warning to collectors. This is technically translucent plastic painted. I don't understand why they did that, but it is. Because of that, be very careful taking the shield / tail fin section out of the back when converting it into the other modes. It's clear translucent plastic, so yeah, there's a potential of breaking. So just go slow and steady when pulling this part out of the back. If the only other thing to complain about, I know a couple of people have complained about the peg where the gun goes in for jet mode here is a little loose. Mine is slightly loose, but not as bad as what P.all and some others were stating they had to deal with. I think just a little floor polish into that peg, like one, just, basically a Q-tip and one dip in there, would probably tighten that up enough that I wouldn't have to worry about it. But other than that, honestly, this figure is absolutely solid. So I'd say the only other thing to complain about is, just like P.all's, that all that kind of cream white plastic has tons of detail, but is completely lost due to not having any paint. And as just like Skywarp, I've got a feeling that, yeah, there's no paint in that section, so, or all the paint's gone to here, I should say. Ugh, I can't talk today at all, but yeah, kind of wish that they just made this out of a solid color plastic, the same as the wings, and then use that paint budget for all of this detail, because, if you really look, there's some epically good detail all over this figure, and it's just lost in the wash. So, quick size comparison with a fellow Headmaster, Skull Crunch, one of my favorites from Titan's Return. So, he ain't bad. He ain't half bad. I will say he feels a little small for a Voyager, but he does expand out rather large. So, give me just a second and I'll take you into ape mode. And we're back. And before I complete beast mode, I wanted to show off his headmaster. Now, his headmaster on the box, as far as I can tell, and the instructions, has no mention of a name, so... And I honestly can't remember his name right off the top of my head, so yeah. But like I stated, this headmaster is supposed to be a dual headmaster, which means he's supposed to form both the beast mode head and the robot mode head. Now, if you can already tell from the beast mode, clearly part of the head has already been formed. To mitigate the problem of having a larger headmaster, Hasbro just went ahead and made... this is not a time for this. There we go. Half of the head to make it look like a different robot mode head. I can see this being used for a repaint of this figure in some way, because that looks pretty cool. But yeah, basically, they did that to mitigate the problem of having to have an entire gorilla head on the back of the Titan Master mold. I will say, yeah, it is using the Titan Master mold, and in fact, it does have little Titan Master ports, little feet ports all over its body. If you look carefully, you can see, especially here in the beast mode, he's got a ton of them. So it is using the Titan Master tech from a couple of years ago. So, as it stands, the gorilla mode is not bad. It looks very spot on to the Generation 1 figure, from the curled arms with the curled hands like that, and the robot mode limbs kind of sitting off of the beast mode legs. It's very accurate. I really enjoy that, actually. I really am enjoying that head. That posable head makes all the difference for this beast mode. So, and yeah, we'll say, glad they spent the money on the painting those teeth, because that grimace looks amazing. Now that is a Horicon. So, pretty good, I gotta admit. Do a quick size comparison and with, again, fellow headmaster, not Snapdragon, God, I forget his name now. Skull Grinder, that's it. But yeah, pretty interesting. Does add a lot of girth. And I do think this adult collectible toy is worth your money. So, if you'll excuse me, I'll take this gorilla into robot mode. And we're back, and before I put the head on, I figured I should show you what I was talking about when I said double headmaster, and it would probably help to put the light in better, Ed. There we go. And what I mean is, yeah, is the upper half and I guess the grill section for his gorilla head, and on the other side, on the back end of the headmaster's feet, is the actual head. So, yeah. And it slips on right there. Oh, wait. The instructions do say to spin the actual head around. They do say to spin the Titan Master's, or the Headmaster's little head around. So it does kind of lock in that way. So that's interesting. And that was actually something a lot of people during Titan's Return were doing to kind of mitigate head wobblingness. So I'm wondering if the guys who designed Titan's Return, who were designing this guy for Siege, learned that from us. So that's interesting. He also does come with, you can also put his gun in his hand. Now the shield, officially the shield is supposed to go in this elbow peg. The problem is that that channel is just not deep enough for this to really stay on. And I don't like that, honestly. So I just end up spinning it around and putting it in a shoulder peg. I think that works just better, in my opinion. He is also really hard to stand up, and that's mostly due to he really doesn't have any heels, put it pointed towards the camera, Edward, to speak of, due to the mass of because his gorilla mode arms are on the bottom of his legs. So he doesn't really have any pronounced heels to help him stand up properly, and that's a problem. But other than that, honestly, I think the figure is just about perfect. Now, I will say, someone who did the transformation for this guy, can I ask why you put the gorilla mode, the lower half of the gorilla mode's head right there? Because there is literally nothing stopping the gorilla head from sitting in the nose of the jet like it was in vehicle mode. I do not understand why the instructions say to do that. So yeah. Other than that, I think the figure is awesome. Then again, I love a good headmaster, and the Horicons were probably two of the awesome headmasters because they were headmaster triple changers. So that's just cool. Now, again, for size comparison, we have Titan's Return Skull Crunch, and finally, he's starting to feel a little bigger. So, yeah, that's... I'd have to say, if I'd have to wish anything, I kind of wish this guy was maybe 10-15% bigger. I think the size he's supposed to be a little bit bigger than Skull Crunch, but oh well, what you gonna do? And oh yeah, I just realized this. I forgot to show off the Titan's Return figure of Apeface. So yeah, you can technically use this head for him, but with the black eyes and the overly complicated faceplate, it just doesn't look the same. I do prefer this head over this head, but you could use it if you want to. And yes, just like in Titan's Return, you can, if Skull Crunch will stand, you can swap the heads around. If you so desire. There we go. But yeah. There. But other than that, I think this figure is pretty awesome. I do recommend him for all adult collectors. I repeat, this figure is awesome for all adult collectors. Context matters. So until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.